and welcome to Tim Conley Drums. This is the Christmas edition. I just wanted to get on here and tell you guys a couple stories of some Christmas gigs that I did. One was kind of scary, a scary Christmas gig, and the other one was actually quite funny. So the first one, years ago, I played a gig at the Eaton Centre, which is a very, very popular and huge shopping mall in Toronto. It's one of the most famous shopping malls in Canada. And it was all Christmas music for the gig. And hold on one sec. Go upstairs. I'm shooting a video. Stay upstairs. So it's a very popular shopping mall, very, very busy. And I did a bunch of gigs there. And one of the gigs really, really stands out. So this is the scary kind of a strange story. I'm playing brushes, a lot of brushes. It was quite, mellow Christmas music. And the thing about playing in a mall is it echoes like crazy. So playing with brushes is much, much better because it's not as loud. People get annoyed when they're trying to Christmas shop and there's loud music, live music being played. So most of the gig was brushes. So I could actually hear interactions that were going on amongst the people while we were playing. Now, technically, are we a focal point in the mall? Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that we're set up on a stage in the mall playing Christmas music. It was all jazz mainly. The odd, Jingle Bell Rock, rocking around the Christmas tree kind of stuff. But most of it was jazz versions of Christmas songs. So we're talking about, I'd say this is around 2004 or 5, around there. And we were hired, the band that I was in was hired to play, I think we did about 5 or 6 gigs that December, and they paid well because it was a corporate gig and it was a good paying gig and it was a lot of fun. Anyways, this one gig out of the 5 got weird. So up there playing, and I see this guy, and he reminded me, when I saw him, I thought, he looks like those shady guys from Home Alone. And immediately I noticed this guy staring at me and really looking at me in a strange way. I'm getting the whole, he thinks he knows me from somewhere vibe, No big deal. Tried to ignore him, keep playing the gig, but he is just completely staring me down. It wasn't even that he was staring at the band. He's staring me down. And I'm thinking, while I'm playing, I don't know this guy. I don't recognize him. Why is he staring me down like this? But anyways, kept playing. On a break, I decide I'm going to approach this guy and say, do I know you from somewhere? So I do. He is not far away from the stage, and I just said, hey, can I talk to you for a second? And, I'm the drummer in the band, and I notice you staring at me pretty much the whole time. Do I know you from somewhere, or have we met, or, what's the story? He says, oh, yes, we know each other. And I'm like, how do we know each other? And he says, you arrested me once. And I'm like, what do you mean I arrested you once? He says, I got caught stealing in a mall, and you were the security guard that arrested me. Now I remember him, because that was true. I used to have a part-time job doing mall security at Sherway Gardens, also in Toronto. I did that for a short period of time, like maybe 6 months. But I now remember this guy from arresting him. So now we're in an awkward situation. It's uncomfortable. He's obviously angry at me because I arrested him. Now, the thing is that you have to understand security guards have no actual arrest powers. They have citizen arrest powers. It wasn't like I'm a police officer arresting him and handcuffing him and all that stuff. All I did was catch him after he left the store. I stopped him. I brought him back into the store and I detained him. He didn't run away. He didn't fight. He didn't even argue with me. I just brought him back into the store, detained him. The police came and arrested him. I actually did not arrest him. But he blames me. So he then starts to say, yeah, you arrested me, and I ended up going to jail for that, and you ruined my life. And I'm like, ooh, like this is getting really awkward. And I said to him that I did remember him, and I said, there was no intention on my part to ruin your life. I was doing my job. You ruined your own life by stealing stuff. Now, obviously, when you get caught stealing something, I can't remember what he had. I think it was clothes, but he had a substantial amount, like over $5,000 worth of very, very expensive clothing that he was stealing. So it was what normally would be shoplifting is a minor offense, but because he was over $5,000, that becomes a much more serious offense. And he told me, I don't know this for sure, this is just him telling me that he went to jail and it really screwed up his life because he was having trouble finding a job, whatever. Now, this guy looked like a pretty shady character. I think he's been to jail many times. It's got nothing to do with specifically this one time that I particularly so-called ruined his life. So anyways, I'm now getting nervous because I'm thinking, I can't leave. It's not like I can just pack up my stuff and leave. I'm technically working because there's nothing I can do. If he tries something while I'm working, I have to stay there. I can't just pack up and leave. So anyways, I start to get nervous because I'm like, oh no, now what do I do? I talked to the guy a little bit more and I just said, look, man, I was doing my job. You got caught stealing. It's unfortunate. I got to go back to my gig and, all the best. See you later. I tried to smooth things over a little bit. Anyways, I go back. I tell my bandmates about this situation and they're like, oh, geez, this isn't good and blah, blah, blah. So anyways, I decide I'm going to tell the mall security that this has happened. So I go and I tell the mall security and I ask them to come and stick around the stage, which they did. And I was very, very thankful that they did. So we get back up on stage and we're playing and this guy comes over and I'm getting this stare down all over again. But this time it's even more uncomfortable because for obvious reasons, he's really angry at me. He didn't do anything, like I said, we just talked earlier, but why would this guy come back and keep doing this, trying to intimidate me, stare down stuff, whatever. So I keep playing, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, this guy just starts yelling. He starts yelling about how he's pointing at me and yelling that I ruined his life and all this stuff. And anyways, we had to stop. The security guys took him. Thank God that I went and asked them to, be there. They went and they took him because he was trying to approach the stage when he was yelling. They grabbed him. They took him out because they knew what was going on, and they removed him from the building, and I never saw him again. So that was a really uncomfortable, awkward Christmas gig. Now, we continued playing after he left. We did resume the show. We finished the gig. Now, when the gig was over, he didn't know what vehicle I was driving. He didn't know where I was parked. He didn't know anything. But I was nervous that he was going to be hanging around outside, possibly waiting for me, gun, knife, who knows. So I asked the security guys to not only help me carry my gear out, but I asked them to just come with me just in case this nut job is there. Now, it turns out he did not approach. I didn't see him, and I thank the security guys for helping me out, packed my stuff up, and I left, never to be seen again. But that was an uncomfortable and strange. Luckily, that was also the 5th gig, if I'm not mistaken. That was the last out of the 5, so I was done. Didn't have to come back because I'm sure he returned to the scene of the crime, so to speak, looking for me, but I wasn't there. So I was thankful that that was the last of the gigs. But the whole thing was actually, other than that one thing, the other four were really pleasant gigs. It was a lot of fun, a lot of families enjoying the music, a lot of kids dancing and enjoying. And we had kids and families coming in and do some sing-alongs. And it was a great, great event overall, except for that one weird thing. Now, on a positive note, I can remember doing a family Christmas party around December 22nd or 23rd. One of the funnest gigs I ever did, because not only did we play Christmas music, we also played regular, top 40 and dance stuff, clean slate type stuff from my old band. And we had so much fun though, because it was a family Christmas party. And they had a huge amount of people. They actually rented a venue, hired a band, rented we had a stage and everything. It was food. We got fed. It was kind of like a wedding, but it wasn't a wedding. It was a Christmas party. But it felt like a private family party gig. And there was at least 200 people there. This was an unbelievable gig. And that gig is my most memorable, fun Christmas gig right before Christmas. Got paid well and really, really enjoyed that gig. No weirdos, just family having fun, playing a lot of Christmas music, and then of course dancing to regular music. And we not only did we get paid well, but the gig was only 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours in length. It wasn't a huge, long gig, and they had a DJ as well. So when we were done, we did our couple sets. I think we did 2 sets. Then the DJ took over and we were able to take part in the festivities. As well. My second story is not as exciting as my first one, but I wanted to tell it to you because, you can't always have doom and gloom, especially around Christmas. You've got to have fun things as well. And, I've done so many gigs, and the majority of the gigs that I've done were fun, enjoyable shows. But I also like to share when things go a little off. That's an important part of my channel, sharing the yin and the yang of all these things. So guys, Merry Christmas. I want to thank you very, very much for the entire year and tuning into my channel. I'm looking to continue to grow, so I need some new subscribers. So please like, share, comment on any one of my videos, not just this one. And again, Merry Christmas. I'm going to be going to Florida, leaving tomorrow, Christmas Day. I'm going to Florida. So I'm not sure if I'll be doing any drumming videos per se in Florida. We'll see. I might. I'm going to bring my gear just in case. But for now, I just want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and as always, keep drumming. See you.